This lecture focuses on two-way factorial ANOVA. In one-way ANOVA, we use one-way ANOVA to compare mean differences between the levels of one independent variable. For example, in the drug question, we studied the effect of different types of drugs, aspirin, Tylenol, and herb, on pain relief effect. With two-way factorial ANOVA, we move one step further to include another independent variable. For example, in the drug question, we not only have independent variable of different drug types, we also have the second independent variable, such as when people take the drug. The outcome variable is still the pain relief effect. In factorial ANOVA, we refer to the IVs as factors. The drug types becomes factor 1, and the time of taking the drug becomes factor 2. Therefore, it is called factorial ANOVA. In general, we describe a factorial design by the number of factors and the number of levels of each factor. For example, a 2x2 factorial design, meaning that there are two factors with two levels in each factor. A 3x2 factorial design, meaning that there are two factors. One factor has three levels, such as aspirin, Tylenol, and herb, and the other factor has two levels, such as morning and evening. When we have two factors, it is called a two-way factorial design. When we have three factors, such as 2x2x3, we will have one factor with two levels. The second factor also is with two levels, and the third factor is with three levels. This is called a three-way factorial design. In this class, we focus on two-way factorial design. Let's look at an example. This is from 1974 Ising's study on recall of verbal material. It is a 5x2 factorial design. The first factor is processing level in memorizing a word. There are 5 processing levels. The participants were presented a list of 27 words. The first group, they were told to count the number of letters in each word. The second group, they were told to think of a word that rhymes with it. The third group, they were told to give an adjective that could be used to modify the word. And the first group, they were told form vivid images of each word. These 4 groups range from light to deep processing level, with imaginary as the deepest processing level of the word. But they were not told about to memorize each word. It was in the 5th group, the participants were presented a list of 27 words, and they were told to intentionally memorize each word. In this study, there is a second factor, the age group, young participants versus old participants. Ising predicted that this age group also affected the number of words people recalled. Here are the data. Since we have 10 combinations of 2 factors, that is 5 processing levels and 2 age groups, we have an overall of 10 groups of participants We call this 10 cells, highlighted with blue. Each cell had 10 participants. If you look at the top row, it is the first factor, processing levels. There are 5 levels with 20 people in each level. If you look at the left column, it presents the second factor, age group. There are 2 levels, old versus young. There are 50 participants in the old group and 50 participants in the young group. The total number of people in this study is 100. If you look at the numbers in the blue box, these are cell means. 7 is the average number of memorized words in the first group. 6.9 is the average number of words remembered in the second cell, etc. If you look at the numbers in the green box, these are the means for 5 different processing levels. For the counting group, the mean was 6.75. For the rhyming group, the mean was 7.25, etc. If you look at the numbers in the orange box, these are the means of the old group versus young group. Finally, at the left bottom corner, 11.61 is the ground mean. It's the average number of words remembered for the whole sample. Before we move to how to test this 5x2 factorial ANOVA, let's review our knowledge on one-way ANOVA. Let me hide the second young group and just focus on the old group with 5 processing levels. The hypothesis could be, if the processing levels affect people's memorization on the word, there are 5 levels. This is one-way ANOVA. Remember, in one-way ANOVA, we calculate the F-score. The F-score is the ratio of between group variance and the within group variance. Between group variance meaning what are the differences across counting, rhyming, adjective, imaginary, and intention groups. These are called between group effects. In contrast, the within group variance are the individual differences within each group, such as the fluctuation among the 10 people in the counting group, the fluctuations among 10 people in the rhyming group, etc. This within group variance is indicated by SS within. In one-way ANOVA, they are treated as the error. We want the individual difference within each group as small as possible. If we remember how to solve the one-way ANOVA problem, let's pull out in class 3.1 and work on this question. You will need to using SPSS to run one-way ANOVA. On this page, it listed different steps of running SPSS. First, you need to enter the data, both the outcome variable and the group variable. After you enter the 5 group variables, you need to label the groups, such as 1 equals to counting, 2 equals to rhyming, 3 equals to adjective, 4 equals imaginary, and 5 equals to intention. Then you can follow the instructions on the PowerPoint to run one-way ANOVA and complete in-class exercise 3.1. After you finish in-class exercise 3.1, you can resume with the second class video.